Good morning, students. Today we start second chapter of this paper. The name of the chapter is Damped Oscillations. Okay. In first chapter we have studied undamped pre-oscillation, in which the oscillator is acted upon by only one force, and this force is called as the restoring force. Now in this chapter we are going to apply other external force on the oscillator. That means we have to put the oscillator or body in a medium, so that resistive force due to medium, called a frictional force, is exerted on that body, so that when the force is exerted on that body due to the medium, this force is called resistive force due to that medium, and due to that resistive force the amplitude of body continuously decreases with time. In case of undamped pre-oscillation, amplitude always remains constant. Okay, amplitude always remains constant, but in second chapter if we consider damped oscillation, then there is continuous decrease in amplitude with time, and this amplitude decreases due to the resistive force acting on that oscillator due to some medium, and this force is called frictional force. Okay, so when any oscillator performing damped oscillation, then it is acted upon by two types of forces. The first force is called restoring force. It is called restoring force, and second force is called resistive force. Resistive force, or it is also called as the damping force. Okay, also called as damping force. Right. So any body performing damped oscillation is always acted upon by two types of forces. First is the restoring force, and second one is called as the damping force. Now in this case, this restoring force is directly proportional to the displacement of body from its equilibrium position, right? And this damping force is directly proportional to the velocity of body from its mean position. Okay, so according to definition of restoring force, if you consider this is F, then it is directly proportional to displacement of body from mean position, or we write here F equal to minus kx. Okay, then we write this damping force. So damping force is directly proportional to the velocity. That means we write here dx by dt. Okay, then we take constant F equal to minus r dx by dt. So right here F directly proportional to minus dx by dt, that is the velocity. So lastly we write F equal to minus r dx by dt. So this is the damping force acting on the body due to the resistive medium. Okay, and this is the restoring force which acts on the oscillator. Right, now the total force acting on the oscillator we can write in the form F equal to minus kx minus r dx by dt. Now here this r is called as the damping coefficient. Okay, if we consider the restoring force as well as damping force, then this restoring force always try to maintain the oscillation, while this damping force decreases the oscillation of the oscillator. Okay, this force tries to maintain oscillation, while damping force reduces the oscillation of the oscillator. Right? Now here this is the total force acting on the body, and that is F equal to minus kx minus r dx by dt. Okay, so name this equation first. Then according to Newton's second law of motion, we write this m d2x by dt square, that is equal to f. Right? Therefore, I will write here f equal to m d2x by dt square, equation number second. Right? So we equate equation first and second for the force. Then we write here m d2x by dt square equal to minus kx minus r dx by dt. Okay, so we take this term minus kx minus r dx by dt toward the left side. Then we write m d2x by dt square plus r dx by dt plus kx equal to 0. Right? So this is the differential equation of the damped oscillator performing damped oscillations. Okay, so this differential equation is linear, homogeneous, and of second order. So this is the second order linear homogeneous differential equation of the damped oscillator or oscillator performing damped oscillations. Okay, so here we have developed the differential equation of the damped oscillator. Okay, then next we find the solution of this differential equation. So we consider solution of differential equation. Okay, so here we find the solution, and that solution can be assumed in terms that is x equal to a e raised to alpha t in this form. We take the solution or assume the solution in the form x equal to a e raised to alpha t. Okay, here this alpha and a are constant. Okay, then we differentiate this equation, so we get dx by dt equal to a alpha e raised to alpha t. Then second differentiation, we take d2x by dt square equal to a alpha square e raised to alpha t. Right? Then we substitute x dx by dt and d2x by dt square in equation of differential equation. Okay? So we have to substitute the values. Then we write here m, then we take d2x by dt square, that is a alpha square e raised to alpha t, a alpha square e raised to alpha t, then plus r dx by dt is a alpha e raised to alpha t, a alpha e raised to alpha t plus k, and value of x is a e raised to alpha t. So right here a e raised to alpha t equal to 0. Right? Then here we take common a e raised to alpha t and equating to 0. Right? So right here m alpha square plus r alpha plus k, common is a e raised to alpha t equal to 0. Then equating 0, we get m alpha square plus r alpha plus k equal to 0. So this equation is in quadratic form. Okay, this is the equation which present in quadratic form. So we'll get two roots. That means we have to write the value of alpha by using root formula, that is minus b plus minus b square minus 4ac upon twice a. So using this formula, we write the value of alpha, that is alpha 1 and alpha 2. Okay, so here b is r, then a is m, c is k. Okay, so using this equation, we write the root, and that root is alpha 1, or we write directly alpha equal to minus r plus minus root b is r, so r square minus 4ac, sorry, 4 a is m and c is k, mk upon twice, and a is m, that is twice m. Okay, so this is the value of alpha. Then we write two values of alpha. That means first we write alpha 1 equal to minus r plus root r square minus 4mk upon twice m. This is alpha 1, and we write here alpha 2 equal to minus r minus root r square minus 4mk upon twice m. Okay, so here we get alpha 1 and alpha 2. Right, there we have to write the general solution in terms of x. Before that, we write this term, that is alpha 1 equal to minus r upon twice m plus root. We take this twice m in the root, so we will get 4m square. That means we write r square upon 4m square, r square upon 4m square minus k by m. Okay, so we get this 4m square inside, or inside the root. So here get cancelled, 1 get cancelled, and 2 4 get cancelled. So write only k by m. So this is first alpha 1, then write alpha 2 equal to minus r upon twice m minus root. We take this same r square upon 4m square minus k by m. So these are the 12 of roots. Then we have to write the general solution. Right. So general solution can be written as x equal to a1 e raised to alpha 1 t plus a2 e raised to minus alpha 2 t. Okay. So substituting the values alpha 1 and alpha 2, we write the general solution of the differential equation in the form of displacement or x. So here I think we write here x equal to a1 e raised to alpha 1 is, write in bracket, minus r upon twice m plus root r square upon 4m square minus k by m into t. Okay, plus right next a2, then e raised to in bracket minus r upon twice m minus root r square upon 4m square minus k by m into t. Okay, so this is the general solution of the differential equation having two roots, that is alpha 1 and alpha 2. Okay, so this is the final equation. Then in next lecture we consider the different cases. So there are three different cases which depends upon this r square upon 4m square minus k by m. That means we have to consider r square upon 4m square greater than k by m. Then we consider r square upon 4m square less than k by m. Right? And lastly we consider r square upon 4m square equal to K by M. So in the structure we consider these three cases, and depending upon these three cases we decide the type of motion, whether it is damped, or we consider critically damped, over damped, or oscillatory. Okay, so I stop here. Thanks to all.